What's up, man? You ready to film?
Yeah, no, I'm doing good, man. Just been taking a lot of heat lately. The guy at work in front of me, he's been out for the last couple of weeks, so I've had to step in. They've just been coming in with a bunch of new projects. You know, I feel like I'm an island by myself, just getting bull rushed. You know, I can't tackle everything. It's just it's hard to block it out, but let's do the show and just keep moving.
Right on, man. Would a chip help?
Yeah, I could use a chip. Thank you, man.
Isn't that nice?
Seriously, thank you. Like,
Don't thank me, man. Thank the staff over at the Express Mart. Man genius! Dialing up a pretty good defensive plan against the Green Bay Packers on Sunday. Packers prevailing, but it was not the blowout game that we here at Live from Stadium Drive, me being Matty Day.
me being Tommy Burns.
We predicted some pretty outlandish scores. Packers offense not exactly kicking ass against that Eric Mangini coordinated defense. And after we filmed last week, we kind of had the really pleasant kind of epiphany that Eric Mangini is the D coordinator, and it just kind of got us waxing nostalgic about the good old days when one Brett Favre was stalking the sidelines alongside Eric Mangini in New York, the kind of purgatory year, if you will.
Two scorned lovers.
Oh.
You know, that was great. So again, seeing some of those images again, it was just a wonderful reason to think about Mangini. He's such a God. He's just fun.
It's great. It's like a fucking teddy bear. Yeah. Do yourself a favor. Do a little image search of Brett Favre and Eric Mangini, and just find some classic
and
images.
come with some memes and post it, because there's some pretty choice little screen caps of those too. Of just basically Favre with the Favre look on his face, and Mangini just like, Jesus Christ, what did I get myself into?
What would he be saying or thinking at that moment?
It was pretty awesome. But he's then was with the 49ers, D coordinator, not much talked about, and it was that defense that gave us fits.
Stifled, man, to the tune of 17 total points. Dang. I mean, that was, as Aaron Rodgers said in the game, or in the interview after the game, we were a little off. And is it a little bit of, offensive struggles, defensive success from the 49ers? Man, it did not equate to points for the Packers. Those players, man, they're out there battling on offense, making some plays, but the reason that you didn't see more points put up on the board, you probably look at the pass protection. I mean, that was a lot of pressure on number 12, a couple of sacks, and
got to channel his inner Favre with the little left-handed flick to Lacey.
If that's the trade-off, if we're not going to see great pass blocking, but we see more like Favre plays, that's pretty cool. That being said, you don't want to see your quarterback getting killed and Josh Sitton with a hold that was basically just saving a free shot on Aaron Rodgers. That was they were up pretty well at that point.
But who got his seemingly gamely hold penalty again was Bach. I mean,
D-Bach.
Is that something?
Just take it. I mean,
you just take it and chew it. And you're going to get that. And again, to save a clean shot on Rodgers, you just take it and let it go. But put the clean game together. And this was against a straight up 4-man rush. Mangini did not blitz much at all. I mean, it was straight up pressure, and they were able to do it. I mean, making Rodgers sweat.
They were trying, man. They were trying hard out there. Difference between being 1-3 and 2-2 is, I mean, that's momentum, or that's hope. That's what they were fighting against, man. And after getting embarrassed the previous week, the 49ers came out with some fight. And one of the guys who got punched in the mouth, perhaps the worst, would be Donnie Barclay.
Do you want a chip?
Yes, please.
You were saying?
So, Donnie Barclay getting a lot of work, like the wrong kind of work over at the right tackle position. Mike McCarthy got asked about it, like why he thought Barclay was, getting like struggling out there. McCarthy basically said, we as a staff need to do more to help him out in those challenging situations. You read between the lines. Does that mean that they need to give him more support, give him more extra players over there, more
game week preparation?
Yeah. Is it
stab with like medical or?
Well, I mean, what part of the staff is he saying that? Medical staff? He always praises the medical staff, but is he saying? I'm just totally speculating here. Is he saying that the medical staff didn't do enough to get Brian Bulaga healthy? I mean, is Mike McCarthy putting this on himself?
Could it be he's putting it on Tom Clements as a way to usurp the play calling things because he needs a way to submarine him, and this is now what we're seeing as far as the sabotage on the Green Bay Packers and Mike McCarthy taking out his offensive coordinator this week on As the Pigskin Turns.
For real though, I mean, is this McCarthy going to bat for his guy and putting Barclay's struggles on his own back? Is he blaming himself here? Green Bay Packers players, step up your fucking game. Mike McCarthy is going to take everyone, now that he's overseer, he's going to take this shit to heart. He's going to take it personally. Don't let him do that.
Don't let him roll. I mean, you're just letting him burn on there. He's just trying to hold you up, and he's just trying to just be that family member. That I mean,
no, he needs to let his guys fail. But right now, this is new for him. He's taking it on himself. Don't let him do this.
The players need to.
He's like a mother hen out there. Don't let him do this. Don't let him do this to himself, Packers players. You're killing your mother.
So you got Mike being possibly the worst political candidate by taking all the blame for everything, and then you got Jim Tomsula on the other sidelines sweating a lot, stomping around looking like dude who just got off a plane, has 20 minutes to make the next plane, and he doesn't know where the thing is. He's just like just doing this and just like pouring like greasy locks, and he's got the mustache. He kind of looks like a Donnie Brasco, or someone in there like get a little chest hair and exposing. He's just getting into it. Hot day. That's cool. I understand you're in the sun, but Mike is on the other side of the sidelines, just chilling, double layers, short sleeves, and then a long sleeve compression shirt on there, and a little sweat right here, but he's just chilling there, and it's just like what a dichotomy. And if Jim Tomsula's just hothead running around, and you got cool Mike, and you think it is like a mental game, like in cold games the offensive linemen wear no sleeves to show how tough they are.
Donnie Driver out there, bare arms,
wearing no sleeves. Mike McCarthy's rocking the long sleeves in 80-degree plus temperatures. Cool as a cucumber. And watch it, because James Jones' turtleneck gets a lot of press. Mike McCarthy's long sleeves does not get enough press as much as it does. Watch him, because he does it. He does not believe in the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. He believes in keeping that shit covered up, and maybe it's for sun exposure and help and everything, or I really think he's trolling the other side.
If you hate Larry the Cable Guy, you'll love Mike McCarthy. Like we do. But watch it, man. Live from Stadium Drive. Hitting you with the analysis that matters. We fucking... check it out, man. That's going to be his look from September through February.
It's an all-seasons look. And maybe it's really cool and it wicks really well. I don't know. But it's...
Let's hope it wicks well.
Yeah. But I mean, it was a different thing with looks. It was with the new thing in the beleaguer when we got with Tomsula. I mean, was it a Harbaugh thing?
You're looking at the coaches, and speaking of wardrobe and the Harbaugh, the Harbaugh
triple
wear.
pleat. Not a lot of guys can rock the triple pleat anymore. I mean, it's kind of a thing when you kind of,
You ever listen to the LBJ thing where he's on the phone with Hagar Slacks? Oh, it's fucking funny. LBJ on the phone with like the dude from one of the main guys from Hagar, and you can find it on YouTube. It's a really good listen.
I will enjoy that.
I don't know how it exists. Thanks, internet.
Let's post a link on this
Yeah,
page.
yeah, fuck yeah. Relevant. But Jim Harbaugh, wow. I mean, so
Was
we're
the
bane
bane
kinda-
of our existence. I look for an opportunity where I can say.
well, wasn't he though? I mean, he was. Did this even feel like a full revenge type game? Did this fulfill you as a Packers fan?
Not that it's that team that is still like, oh, watch out, 49ers coming in. They're contenders. They're doing this, coming into Lambeau. Tough game. Watch. I mean, chips were down. This is not the 49ers team we were used to. Lots of ragging on the new offensive schemes and Kaepernick specifically and everything else. And it wasn't that, wasn't taking out, the elephant in the room as much as the Seahawks, perhaps.
Right. Well, I mean, because that's the coach quarterback combination.
Yeah.
Whereas here you just got fucking Cap, man, and Colin Kaepernick
Literally throwing his career in the dirt.
Oof. Oh my God, I was laughing like just, man, I really kind of enjoyed this one, man. I mean, how couldn't you, as a Packers fan, watching that dude dice the team with his legs, with his arms? he ran fairly successfully against us. Had some, but it was desperate, man. Dude sucked in the pocket, and how much of that is on the coaching change?
Scheme allowing him, putting him in position to win, and they're even ragging at him, saying I'm more comfortable right now, but that could just be like non-mutiny thing. But it was just
crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy, man.
It was.
It's so weird to watch that player struggle that way after he succeeded against us, and it was really nice. I didn't give a fuck who his coach was when I was watching that game. God damn.
And then holding another pretty solid running back to some limited yards.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say, and then holding another really solid press conference after But right. So overall, I mean, and can't give enough props to the Packers for holding the 49ers or any NFL team to 3 points.
Yeah.
Great job by the Packers.
Recipe
defense.
for success. But what was successful was, it's like it's kind of like partying there. I mean, it's not just your Clays and your Julius, making things. You having other guys step up,
Dude.
have a little party in there. Guys running around. Nick Perry getting his
Again,
own.
2 sacks this week.
Yeah.
That's 3 in the last 2 games. Mike Neal getting in there.
I've been a supporter.
Always.
Yeah.
Bell ringer over here, man.
J. Rowan getting his cameo again. It's just like in, those old, just getting that cameo, just getting in there, making his name known, staking out a claim, getting after it. And it all goes into, no matter how much you can still say, oh, Nick Perry is underperforming or Mike Neal hasn't lived his potential, but it's all that goes in working of who, because like I said, is Dayton really on an island? But Dayton even
It's coming
created
from
some
everywhere.
opportunities.
It's coming from everywhere right now. There's good push
Eat
overall.
up some bodies.
Nick Perry's really been interesting. I mean, and do you remember it was the 2012 game. 2012?
What a great audience.
Wow. Thanks for tuning in. 2012 playoffs. Clay Matthews going against it was an injured Joe Staley at left tackle for the 49ers. And while their O-line has kind of been dismantled through free agency, Joe Staley's still there holding it down, anchoring down the left side of the line, fighting off Clay Matthews in that playoff game with like a bum elbow, or he was working with like one arm in that game.
Yep.
Nick Perry was going against him this week and got 2 sacks. I think that means that Nick Perry's better than Clay Matthews.
I'd say that's a fair assessment.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Elsewhere on the D-line, we got the return of LaTroy Guion, who really you didn't hear much from him. But what I'll say about Guion is last year, his first year as a Packer, he was all but invisible for his first 3 games, and then it was the 4th game.
After a completely invisible in training camp because of the injury.
Yeah, he was injured in training camp, and then he had 3 games to kind of reacclimate himself, and it was the 4th game of the year against his former team, the Vikings, and he tore shit up. And he just might
Didn't look
need
back.
he might need a little warm up. And,
Well,
and if they don't
exactly,
need
yes.
him, they're not relying on him right now.
Isn't that
Last
the
year
best
he was
scenario you
replacing
could ask
BJ
for?
Raji,
Yeah.
who's doing also very, very well this year.
Big time.
Yeah, man, this Packers defense is live right now.
That's what feels
cool.
good is that you have a lot of pieces move around, a lot of guys to look for to do it. If one's not making it, it opens up opportunities. They're playing in concert.
That's one of my favorite phrases, man.
Yeah.
And it opens things up for some. You mentioned play Roan Elliott, Zach, and you got Clay, which really worked out this time, having Clay be the spy middle linebacker. They had to move him there.
But even Joe Thomas did that.
Even Joe Thomas, though, dude. This is
But-
promising things.
But continue. But yes. Clay
Well,
was
I gotta give props to the linebackers because you don't have the likes that you've had in recent years, and shout out to AJ and all he did for the Packers. But
the Labrador.
such a good player.
Yeah.
Just hate to see him go. You got Clay in there like full time in the middle. I mean, did they say again? Did he play exclusively inside?
No, it wasn't
this time?
exclusive.
It wasn't like the Seattle game.
No,
Okay.
no. He was able to move around a lot, and he showed it, and we all,
It's
you
exciting.
can find
man.
plenty about Clay in that game, but it was
Yeah.
again a all-around effort. It was
Front seven is doing just
Yeah.
great work, and the back you got to give it up to Sammy, getting another pick, another week in a row, man. Just wonderful. Starting to get those turnovers back there. Casey Hayward, I thought played a decent game too. And if you look at, they're still missing Morgan Burnett, but Demarius Randall again, like that rookie can play football, man.
and he's getting physical, and is getting physical, and we're
Yes.
playing physical. And
Yes.
like I said last week, you'll take one or two of those
High,
penalties
dude, yeah.
to knock a guy around and make him think once or twice about what's coming after the catch or
Shake
on
him
the
up a
second
little
tier of the
bit.
run. Like
Get him a little worried going across
that's
the
what I
middle.
did. Do you remember when it was 2011 when we got all the turnovers? We were a finesse defense, which is a way to say we
Ball
relied on.
hawking. We were just lived and died by the turnover.
Yep,
Yeah.
and we weren't just those guys who will, stick it to you, like why teams didn't like playing some past Steelers or Ravens or, some of those defense. But now we are imposing a physical presence, and it's yes, that's what you want to see, guys, knocking out, making guys think twice, making guys hurt, giving guys an extra second, not hurting anybody. We're not injuring anybody. You can
No.
hurt, but you don't want them injured.
Tackled.
We'll maybe get back to that a little bit later.
I think so.
But let's get some guys again, that party atmosphere. I mean, guys walking around like, who gonna get it? Just
Let's get some handshakes going back there in
Yeah.
the secondary.
Yeah.
But it is good to see the turnovers start to come on the back end and start to see those plays being made back there. I think it'll only increase eventually when they get Morgan Burnett back. But you gotta like what you see out of Demarius Randall. I mean, for the Packers to be able to insert a rookie into this lineup at such a crucial role. He did give up the one big play. He kind of has been doing that once a game. You can almost kind of pick him out on the film. But for the people who are bitching about that, I ask you, do you remember Pat Lee?
think about it. Think about it for a second. Think about it.
Which brings us to one of the all-time greats from the Packers secondary. Non-team related here, but man.
Honorable mention.
Honorable. Go on, man.
It was very pretty to watch.
You were watching this game as it
Yes.
unfolded? Okay.
Bears may have won this game, but you saw, again, you were just really hoping for that Cuddy pick. And they're playing the Oakland Raiders. And you have a pass, but I think it was to Martellus. Pass was intended for Martellus. And you got C. Wood playing like a couple yards back, just waiting and watching. He was lulling Cuddy to sleep and just, waiting for it. And then Smokin' Jay throws one, and as he throws, Seawood just steps up and picks him clean. And we all know about what Seawood has said about Cutler and everything else. And it felt like the most medicated. Just that Seawood knew exactly what was
Matriculated.
Seawood knew exactly what he was doing that whole game, and was just waiting for that perfect opportunity to, just be out of the peripheral enough and come back and save it. So Seawood, carrying over his knowledge.
Dude.
You love to see him bring it over there and sticking it to Jay because, he's got to have a little kind of, chip on his shoulder for, Jay, past teams and kind of what you've seen and bringing it forward and translating that too. And, that goes away.
He probably was licking his chops for that game, man.
Absolutely. Kind of Bears-Packers thing. And, it's kind of a...
when he more or less said that he plans on retiring as an Oakland Raider, it kind of hurt, but he's
got
done
the deep
so
Bay Area
well.
roots.
Yeah, man. For him to bookend his career with some solid play out there in Oakland, like it's cool. Is there another player on another team that like you don't pull for that you pull for as much as Charles Woodson?
Yeah, no.
And a happy birthday, Charles. Mother named him Charles. Don't call him Chuck. Call him C. Wood. Name him Charles. Call him Charles, man. Name's Charles.
Kind of another Packers-Bears thread, which translates into this next week that you kind of
oh yeah
into.
Okay, so man, maybe a lot of people think Jeff Fisher and they think Tennessee Titans. He was there forever, but Jeff Fisher got his NFL start. He was drafted in the 7th round by the Chicago Bears in 1981. Thank you, Wikipedia. He played with the Bears through he was on the Super Bowl team in '85, so he got injured that year though. He was on injured reserve, so he wasn't playing in the Super Bowl that year or anything, but while he was on injured reserve, he assisted defensive coordinator Buddy Ryan while he was going through that, and kind of gave him that first taste of coaching. And some circles, including my old man, shout out Timmy Day, Jeff Fisher still kind of harbors. He was in Chicago during a very, very passionate Packers-Bears rivalry.
No matter if you're down we know about the Forrest Gregg era.
Oh,
and,
dude,
it was
that was dirty football, man. Yeah. That's not exactly like a high point in Packers fans' pride, but that you've got to understand the significance of that rivalry, as because I was like alive when that.
Oh, totally. But then that coaching, that dirty thing. It was Buddy Ryan there.
Yeah,
got
man.
Jeff Fisher, and then Buddy Ryan eventually Oilers into the Titans head coach, and just within his last year, who did Buddy Ryan bring in as his D coordinator or defensive coach? Greg Williams.
Wait, Jeff Fisher brought in...
No, originally the first year...
Buddy Ryan brought in Greg Williams?
It was the first year.
Jesus,
it was
dude.
Greg Williams.
Greg Williams, who is now...
And then Jeff Fisher took over, was with Greg himself for the first stint in Tennessee. Greg Williams did his only thing. He had something go down in St. Louis.
Something like that.
Yeah, which I can't remember. Some
Mountain Goat,
some pretty crazy highlights against Favre, which I actually, unrelated to this, I just happened to watch Favre in the NFC Championship game, and
this isn't Detroit, man.
Well, and just the fucking physical abuse that happened in that game was absolutely ridiculous. Like Favre writhing on the ground, like
it was fucked up,
hard to get up.
God, that was fucked up, man.
So that's Jeff Fisher's guy. Bountygate goes by. Jeff Fisher is out at Tennessee. Comes back in 2012 with the St. Louis Rams. Who does he hire before Bountygate busted open? Greg Williams. About a month into the job. Fucking. Who does he bring in? Greg Williams. Aim for the head. Hit the head.
Hit him in the leg.
Not the most moral fucking defensive coach that you can ever have. A month into the job with the Rams with Jeff Fisher, Greg Williams gets busted for Deflategate, gets suspended, is out, and then you didn't really hear much from Greg Williams.
He was out like 2012.
Yeah.
2013, he had some fucking pissant job with
or
the
even,
Titans.
I think
like
he might have been out that whole year or something. Yeah.
And then we get to 2014. He's been out of the league for better part of 2 years. And
February 2014. Where is he?
He's back in St. Louis, working with Jeff Fisher.
Defensive coordinator for this St. Louis Rams that we're facing is Greg Williams.
Greg Williams. Damn.
And what happened to Roethlisberger a couple weeks back? You can watch the film and make it up yourself. Look at the Roethlisberger injury, decide for yourself, watch what happened, but just keep in mind that is a Greg Williams defense, and Jeff Fisher is also the guy who not only had Cortland Finnegan with him on the Titans, but brought him on with him with the Rams.
Dirty.
Cortland Finnegan. So all I'm saying is the number one thing is just like, watch it. You know, just like,
dude,
sleep with one eye open. You know, why?
Yeah.
You know, just like Packers, be steadfast.
And
be
it's even
careful.
more so with his roots, man. I mean, like, he came of age. His formative years were during the Bears' glory years, or a glory year. That's where his roots are. His roots are in that rivalry, and you would be hard pressed to go back and watch a Jeff Fisher game where even if he's beating the Packers, he lets up. I mean, he's a tough coach, but
and always been heralded for his defense.
I think there's a little bit. I think he harbors a little bit something extra for the Packers, and we are going to get his best shot. And I'm pretty fucking excited for this game, Tommy.
Absolutely.
This is going to be a challenge, man. I mean, that's a lot of talent on that St. Louis team.
Yes.
Now, what do they always do with it? That's kind of the other question. And you know, I guess real quick. I mean, we know where the Packers are at. We got to talk a little bit about the injuries going into this game. We got Brian Bulaga practiced today, not in pads. That hopefully comes tomorrow, but
Weedy bit ahead of schedule, which
I just don't
makes
know.
me a little wary.
I know. It's really hard. Do you want
let's
him to
be
rush it
real.
back?
Bulaga's been a bit fragile. Do you want to rush him or wait him? We're facing a very formidable St. Louis front.
Possibly the best in the league.
Does that mean, we can
Probably
use all
the
the
best in the
help
league.
we can get,
Yeah.
or that you're putting him out there for a chance of coming back too soon and having to press too hard? And I mean, what do you want to see? I mean,
when you've got a run game and a hard count that is working really well, and the fact that this game is here, I think we have really lucked out pretty favorably with the teams that we've drawn here. I mean, I think in terms of the hard count working against the St. Louis pass rush and that D-line going against the Chiefs and the Seahawks, who just have a tremendous home field advantage. We've really lucked out, I think, in terms of that. And the crowd in San Francisco was also pretty much Packers fans. So that was pretty.
So what would you say? Would you let Barclay play?
I think I would. I'm not going to be shitting my pants if it's just him, especially if they're. What was? Remember like the fucking chips that they came out with like a couple years back, where it was like it had a side effect of loose stools. It was like baked Lays or something like that. It was yeah.
Rhea chips.
Yeah, basically. So if Don Barclay's out there, it's not going to be the end of the world. I think the dude, again, Scott McKenna pointing out, he's playing for a fucking contract, man. He's on a 1-year tender deal, and they, there's no guarantee that Green Bay is going to try to bring him back. Does he want to be a career backup? He probably wants that starter money. He's playing, man. He's working it, so he should be giving his best out there. So I'm not too worried if they bring him if they leave Bulaga out. Some are arguing to leave him out through the bye. That's a long time. You're talking about a team that's got a lot of football to play.
But yes, and again, do you want? I mean, yeah, that's an interesting query.
Well, there are some injuries that are pretty much set in stone. Morgan Burnett again did not practice. Devontae Adams also didn't practice. On the topic, Mike McCarthy said that he was going to give Devontae some opportunities to try and get ready for the game.
But Devontae,
I'm just kidding, dude. He's going to give him every opportunity to play for the game.
Devontae himself, we push it a little bit against Chiefs, and he's going to maybe step back. But we are in a position where we're not, We're not starving for it. So again, let's think long term. I'm cool with Devontae. You know, take your time.
Yeah, they got a lot of football to play. And this is such a deep team that, they are surviving, man. They are prevailing through all this. So on the St. Louis side of the football, one of their key defenders,
Oglethorpe.
Ogilby.
Ogletree.
All right. He's Alec Ogletree is not playing in this game. So that's a big loss for the linebacking core of the St. Louis Rams. But man, they have a fucking defense. That D-line, Aaron Donald,
Fairley.
Robert Quinn.
I mean, don't they have Fairley?
Didn't they get? Yeah, shit, man.
Yeah.
Wow, they're stacked up on that. Is an embarrassment of D linemen. And their offense isn't so bad either. I don't think this is another one of those O-lines that is really going to impose its will.
No. You had a breakout performance by Gurley.
Yeah.
So a team
Todd Gurley, the 10th overall draft pick from this year.
With Nick Foles at quarterback, a run-first team?
You know, Nick Foles, he's got the makings of a game manager. He's real careful with the football.
Yep. Philly had that streak with him or whatever.
No turnovers. He had some sick stats with Philly when he came in. But at the same time, it's not like they're devoid of offensive weapons. Supposedly their tight ends are good. Oh, and look at what they did against the Cardinals. They pressured the quarterback. They held them to field goals instead of touchdowns. And they got turnovers. They had 2 fumble recoveries and an interception. Packers
That's a good recipe for the winner.
Stingy at Lambeau Field. So
it's great when a matchup like that happens.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a damn good match.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
what
like
do you see? What do you see?
Pretty, I don't think this is exactly going to be an offensive showcase. I think this might be a fucking defensive showcase. And for the Rams and the Packers, like, go fucking figure, man. You go back to the greatest show on turf years, or even the Brett Favre broken thumb game. I mean, like, those are this ain't your older cousins Packers Rams
Once
game.
removed, but that's your dad's side or your
second
my
cousin?
dad's side.
Yeah, on your dad's side.
Yeah.
Okay. So I haven't had a family reunion in a really long time, man.
We just kind of had one, and it was just really nice. Talked about, sometimes funerals and weddings are the only time you get together, but sometimes you just kind of. It's just nice to try and come together for, just being together. I'm fine.
Hey, so check out this. There's a bunch of cars behind us tonight, you guys. Kevin Hart is over at the Resch Center tonight. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, and there will be a lot of cars here on Sunday too, for the Packer game. When the Packers play the Rams on Sunday. And are you scared of the Rams? Are you?
I'm scared of Greg Williams, yes. That's what you're asking.
Jesus, man. Yeah, scared of what he'll put him up to.
Yeah. But I mean, again, the turnovers things and playing a defensive team, as you mentioned, home field advantage is an advantage.
Well, this is a weird Rams team, too. If you look at what they've done this year, they beat Seattle at home. They got beat by 2 scores at Washington.
Not a close game.
Then they lost to Pittsburgh at home in the Big Ben injury game. Pittsburgh still won that. And then they beat Arizona, who was 3-0 going into that game. And Arizona is not
playing some good football.
That's a good team. That's a strong division, that NFC West, isn't it? But not exactly where you'd imagine it would be.
No, yes, exactly.
It's a little easier to live with the Rams
Cardinals
and the
Rams,
Cardinals doing damage. Shit. Except not this week.
Do still feel very confident in the Packers and what we're able to do, and if we can make some adjustments and tighten up that offensive side of the ball. Yes. Score?
Low. I can't see the Packers getting more than 24. And I'll say 24-16.
24-16. I see us knocking Rams out of their comfort zone and us able to put some points out. We will have a turnover, but we will win.
We will.
30-19.
What do you guys think? What do you think? Do you think?
If you or anyone you know has seen Dick Duran, please call 1-920-429er.
LIVE from Stadium. Too soon?
No, I like that.
Okay.
I think that was good.
Sweet.
Bring back